evening, everyone. It's your man of the hour, the man with the power, the living legend of professional wrestling punditry. Hello, my name is Lee Hazell, and this is the SteelChair Shoot, the best roundtable wrestling discussion on the internet. That is a fact, and we can prove it with science. Joining me this week, we have James Toal, our review editor. Please say hello, James.
Hello, James.
Same old joke, James. Same old joke.
Yep.
And we also have Steph, who is our online correspondent.
Hello, Steph. I'm making the same joke.
Anyway, right, we're a little bit behind, so we're going to try and jump straight into it. And it's been a hell of a weekend for wrestling, guys. We had the UK tournament, we had NXT TakeOver Chicago, and then obviously we had Backlash. I get the feeling our editors and our correspondent is going to have a few words to say about that. I'm not really sure what the vibe is right now, but we'll get onto that in a minute and see. So guys, first and foremost, I think what we've got to open up this discussion with, what almost opened up, one of the most fantastic weekends of WWE wrestling. Tyler Bate versus Pete Dunne for the UK Championship. James, you were live blogging this for the site, you were live blogging this for SteelChair. Dude, how was it?
It makes you, like, I'm not even exaggerating, it did make me feel very good to be in the UK. Be a UK citizen, for just to see, or just to hear the crowd chanting UK, UK, and like just the fact that we've reached that far and then we're on that level in the WWE just makes me feel really good inside. I don't know if that's really sad or but it just feels really good.
Well, that's what wrestling's all about, isn't it? I mean, like any hobby like this that we've got, we come at it trying to find joy from it, and I suppose that's what's got. I'm really jealous that you're speaking about it like that. I've been really jealous of everybody talking about it over the last few days, because the worst time for this to happen, I actually defaulted on my WWE Network payment, and I've literally just this morning been able to get myself resubscribed. So literally today, I was watching it, noticed the time, knew that we had to record. I got to the first move in the match. I literally got to the first move. Everybody has been telling me recently, I've been hearing it on podcasts, I've been hearing it on YouTube channel shows, Pete Dunne has one of the best minds for wrestling of his generation, and in years to come, we're going to look back on Pete Dunne's fights both in the British independent scene and in WWE and NXT and as part of the UK Championship tournament, and think that this guy was one of the absolute best wrestlers of his generation, if not the best wrestler of his generation. I mean, when he came out and he does the pose with the two fists on his face, he's got one of the best, most expressive faces I have ever seen a wrestler possess. That sneer he's got is award-winning. And then the first thing that I saw when I had to turn it off was just a wrist lock and then spinning around to transition out of it. And the smoothness with which he did that, the quickness with which he did that was just... I thought to myself, oh my god, what I'm going to see here is going to remind me of the classic matches of guys like Eddie Guerrero, of Chris Benoit, of Daniel Bryan, and of recently the stuff that Austin Aries and Neville has been doing. And it just made me so proud to see such a great British start to a great British competition.
Took the words right out of my mouth, man.
Jesus, yeah. Oh, it was so, like, literally, and I've just seen the first move, and I cannot wait to get back into it. It's going to be the first thing I do the second I leave this podcast, is just watch that straight away, and probably then binge watch all of the NXT stuff that they've been doing with Trent Seven, with Wolfgang, the UK Championship thing they did in Norwich. That's available on WWE Network now, and I'm definitely going to be checking that out.
And some recaps are available on Vulture Hound, written by someone I know. Definitely not shilling or anything.
James, you can shill if you want. You can. This is your show too, James. You can shill. Cool.
Buy my shit.
I was absolutely happy to see him wrestling this way. Ever since the very beginning of the tournament, it was like it has been like written. It was going to be the champion at one moment. It took a little time, but I was extremely happy because the competition is absolutely awesome. Like you said, it reminded us of Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, all the matches, all the guys we loved and respected, and also the cruiserweight way of wrestling. And I I was absolutely, I love the character, the bad guy kind of guy, but he was really genuinely happy, kind to become the champion, and I really respected that. And even Tyler Bate was respectful of the fact he was beaten. It was for the, even if I'm French, I'm not a British citizen. As a European and a real wrestling fan, I was absolutely happy.
Cool, fantastic. Was there anything else of note during NXT? I know that Rude retained.
It was quite good. The thing about this match is that the crowd. I'm very tall on the. I was very tall on the crowd when I was watching it because they were Great British Spirit, yeah. But then when it's through like Bobby Roode and Hideo Itami's match, they're going, "This is boring." I just wanted to punch him at that point. It was not boring. It was technical. There's a difference.
Yeah, especially that's part of the problem, I think, with Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate putting on such a brilliant match of the year performance so early on in the card. Like, everybody else then has to live up to that expectation, and not every single match can. And quite frankly, I think the fans are starting to sort of realise that after the whole Glorious thing, and after the whole, the Glorious bombs with DIY, and after his magnificent entrances, that in reality, that's kind of all Bobby Roode's got. I mean, he's not the greatest wrestler in the world. He's got that real sort of old school brawler mentality that, is why guys like Jim Cornette and other people like that really love him. But that's not the kind of wrestling that NXT really like and really love. And they prefer the more sort of the indie-centric stuff from guys like Finn Balor and Samoa Joe and Shinsuke Nakamura. I would have loved to have seen Hideo Itami versus Shinsuke Nakamura, but the fact that they've sort of had Bobby Roode separating their matches out, and Bobby Roode isn't the greatest guy to go with the whole Japanese strong style. He almost acts as this sort of this separator between them.
I think also one of the problem of the match was the fact that people aren't used to Hideo Itami, even if he's been with NXT since October or November 2014. He was injured multiple times. People are not really used to his style. He came back, he had the title chance. People are more used to Bobby Roode. Even if I'm not a great fan, and I'm not a great fan of the Glorious thing, but it wasn't giving really a lot of credit to the match. Hideo Itami was coming back. People need to get used to him because they never really saw him wrestling. Maybe end of 2014, beginning of 2015, and he was injured almost ever since. So he started at the same time than Finn Balor and Kevin Owens. And when you compare his career to Balor one and to Owens one, it's quite disappointing. And I wish the NXT or WWE elevated the things and helped him to be seen differently, because Bobby Roode is such a. I really don't like the Glorious thing. I'm really. Everybody's telling me,
I love it.
Wow, it's wonderful. For me, it's boring. Sorry, but
I'll pull my robe now. I don't need any more. It's too glittery.
It's not glorious for me anymore in a way, but it's not the same NXT that it was when Hideo Itami arrived. Also, the time has changed because people went to the main roster, so things were a little different. And also the coming backs of Drew McIntyre, Cassius Ohno, new people like Aleister Black. It's a new era, and it's really difficult for him, I think, to fit this new way of working, and I expect him to be successful, the way Balor, Owens, Nakamura, Samoa Joe did. But he has to. It's difficult to find a place in NXT roster right now with all the. It's crowded of talent, and I hope Itami will find the place he deserved.
Do either of you guys feel that maybe the NXT crowd was hoping that Hideo Itami would be a replacement for Shinsuke Nakamura, and that maybe he has failed to live up to that expectation?
See, I didn't really get that sort of vibe from the NXT show itself. I mean, like when they were building up this match, they did video packages building up to when he first debuted in NXT, when he was going as a Kenta. I think that's what it was before. But then he was like, "No, I'm now Itami," and then it's building up all the way to now. So now it made you think like, "Oh, is he actually gonna have a chance?" But then he loses. So now it's like, well, what does Itami do now?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that I don't think that Bobby Roode is really like ready to go up to WWE yet. I mean, the thing is, both him and Eric Young, I think, coming from NXT, have actually found themselves in a place where actually the talent has kind of left them behind a little bit. Like, they would have been perfect to go in WWE in like the mid 2000s, but right now I think WWE's talent initiative is going for a lot more indie-rific wrestlers, whereas they're a bit more old school. They're a bit more wrestling style. They're much more into wrestling being a combat simulation rather than, as Jim Cornette sometimes put it, rather than it being a showcase of athleticism. And right now, the kind of talent that WWE has been targeting, they just aren't really gelling well with that kind of wrestling style.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I do like Bobby Roode's character. Not that's nothing to say about his wrestling, but as his character and the way he portrays that in the ring, especially during this match, I found really engaging. Especially the amount of times that someone's managed to get a finisher on him, and yet he's always been able to roll out of the ring to avoid a pin. I just enjoy him because he's such a bastard.
DIY have finally split up.
No,
I know. I was actually
No!
I was hoping it wouldn't happen, actually. I gotta say, I thought, like, them splitting up and them having a feud was actually so predictable. I was actually hoping it wouldn't happen, and it would actually, like, they would go get the call-up into NXT as a tag team, and maybe relieve the pressure off of the guys on SmackDown who are currently having an absolutely awful time.
see, that's what I was hoping as well. Like, I didn't see this thing. I didn't see it as a thing because it didn't really make sense to me for them to split up. So then, just for like Ciampa just to turn heel and attack Gargano, and then basically throw him through a bunch of tables, I was kind of torn because I'm like, okay, then we kind of get to see like a rematch that they had at the Cruiserweight Classic, so that's a good opportunity. But the fact that it didn't really make sense story wise, unless they come up with an explanation later on. But right now, it's just kind of like, oh, Ciampa just switched minds at this point, and now he's evil.
I was completely stunned because maybe 2 days later, earlier in a live event, Tommaso Ciampa was nearly injured. So I was like, oh my God, the match is going to be cancelled. And the Authors of Pain will have someone else to fight. Even Triple H on Twitter was saying he wasn't sure. Suddenly, Ciampa, I'm sorry, is turning off Gargano, and I'm like, what? They are a great team, and I also enjoyed to see them fighting each other on the Cruiserweight Classic, and I really didn't see it coming. I was really what?
It's just it's just annoying because now we won't get to see DIY versus Revival again, or DIY versus anyone else. It's going to be, they're separated now. So
yeah, but the question now, what are they going to do of them?
I don't know, but they've limited them now. They're limited to what they can do.
I mean, they are going to have a feud. They are absolutely going to have a fight, but I don't know whether or not, like, eventually they build themselves and maybe it becomes a feud over the NXT Championship. Maybe Ciampa's the guy who takes it off of Bobby Roode, and then Ciampa's the NXT champion for a bit, and then that's how Gargano Johnny Wrestling gets his hands on the championship. Because quite frankly, I think they are NXT championship worthy, the pair of them.
I think so too. It's just there doesn't seem to be a storyline working towards that at the moment. So we'll have to see what happens with that.
I mean, was this like? I mean, I don't watch NXT all that often, so was Were they building up to this?
No, there was
They
no
not?
build-up.
No, it was totally unexpected. Really, even for people watching NXT every week, and I'm doing it, I was like, what? And
It wasn't the good kind of what. It was the wait, why?
mostly, yeah, it's the why. It's the why, and mostly what's next? Because okay, they're making them so going on a single way. Okay, on a title match, yeah, but there's a bunch of guys that can be the one contenders. So, or sending them to 205. I was like, what? I didn't really understand what he wanted to do by splitting the team.
Okay, guys, we're going to move on here. We're going to go to the SmackDown pay-per-view Backlash. Now, the opener of this, the curtain switcher, which I was a little surprised at, actually. A little surprised they put this on first. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Dolph Ziggler. Now, I kind of was hoping for a bit more from this match. What did you guys reckon?
I wasn't really expecting much, to be honest, but it kind of it raised my expectations. I was really really happy with how it turned out. I'm super glad Ziggler didn't win because Ziggler didn't need a win at this point. I mean, no offense to him, but
Why doesn't Ziggler? I think Ziggler and Bray Wyatt are the two people in WWE are the most starved of wins and like the most desperate for wins.
I agree to that, but not against Nakamura in his debut match.
You see, I completely disagree. I thought Dolph Ziggler was not only going to win, I thought he should have won. And I'll tell you why. Because this match between Dolph Ziggler and Shinsuke Nakamura, Shinsuke winning this feels so predictable to me. Feels so by the numbers booking that WWE were going to make Dolph Ziggler the winner just to add in a little bit of unpredictability. And as well, I kind of don't understand what this feud is really about, to be honest. I mean, like, I know there's the whole Dolph Ziggler is resentful that Shinsuke hasn't done anything in SmackDown, and he's getting massively praised for it, and Dolph Ziggler's done a crap ton and isn't getting any attention whatsoever. But I didn't really feel like that was really... it didn't really light a fire under my arse as far as feuds were concerned. And I thought that Dolph Ziggler winning, possibly by nefarious means, would have really, like, given this feud a greater sense of purpose, which honestly is what I really thought it needed.
I see what I thought. Like what I was saying about the feud not being good. I agree, and which is why I wanted Nakamura to win, just so he could get the feud out of there. He can move on to something else,
just so he can move on. Yeah, I mean, like the thing is, I actually really like Dolph Ziggler. I think Dolph Ziggler's really capable of doing great things, but you can see the apathy on his face. He's not happy where he is. I think he wants to move on. But when he was against The Miz last year at last year's Backlash event, he was really good. Like, that was one of the matches of the night. In fact, I think it was one of the matches of Dolph Ziggler's career. And then he had the ladder match a few months later, and that was really good as well.
I watched Backlash live on French television because we have the chance to have live pay-per-views, and I was extremely stunned. First, of course, it was predictable for Nakamura to win. My feeling was, where is Nakamura? The Nakamura we know. Ziggler was obviously way above it all, and I was like, where is Nakamura? What are they doing with him? The people are expecting him for weeks now. I've been expecting him for weeks, sorry, and nothing is happening. Where is the magic? Where is the explosion, the strong style? Ziggler made the match, and boom, Kinshasa, wrapped, pin, over.
Well,
I don't really understand what is happening. It was better on SmackDown yesterday, but I'm still expecting to see the Nakamura we love, the strong style, the quality we saw on matches he had against Sami Zayn or Samoa Joe. It was just awesome. And where is he? Nowhere.
Well, I think I can answer the question of where Nakamura is. Nakamura is on WWE television right now, which means we aren't going to see the Nakamura that we loved in New Japan. We're not even going to see the Nakamura that we loved in NXT because WWE are so stifling in their creative direction. so afraid of litigation that they can't really let these guys shine in the way that they can do on the indies or in New Japan or anything like that. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, looking after the health of your talent, even if it is just to avoid them suing you later down the line. But at the same time, people have to remember to temper their expectations. And especially when it comes to a guy like Nakamura. Look at AJ Styles. When AJ Styles first came into WWE, his matches at first were not the kind of quality matches that we're used to getting from someone like AJ Styles. He only really started doing them against John Cena. I think I didn't get a proper AJ Styles moment from AJ Styles until SummerSlam, and that was a good, I would say, about 4 or 5 months after he debuted. And I think the same thing's going to happen with Nakamura. As he finds his groove, finds his place in the SmackDown roster, as he finds what he can do, what he can't do, and really gets a sense of his style in WWE programming, we're going to have to wait for him to warm up a little bit, I think.
I think there's also a time maybe to let people be accustomed to the style of the guy, Styles or Nakamura. But the main difference is that AJ Styles came straight to the main roster. Nakamura was almost 2 years, maybe I'm saying almost 2 years, perhaps in something like that, in NXT, so people knew him. There's this little difference between the guys coming from NXT, people know very well, and are expecting in the main roster to be the same. And the people coming straight to the main roster, like AJ Styles, what happened for AJ Styles, less people were used to. You have to be a real wrestling fan to know what AJ Styles is about. And I saw him not on NGPW, but Impact Wrestling many years ago. But it is so great. I'm a great fan.
Okay, James, what did you think of Nakamura versus Ziggler?
Well, it was alright.
Cool.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. I'm thinking that just as we get accustomed to Nakamura, he's able to flourish and express himself more. It's stupid just to debut him now when they could have done it weeks ago. But since we're doing it now, we can at least move forward and then get him going more. Building up so he could be this bloody superstar, and then he can become WWE champion, and then everything in the world will be happy.
Oh,
and
they're not going to make him champion. They'll never make him champion.
No, don't crush my dreams, Lee, please.
Yeah, no. We've got Jinder Mahal for the next 1,000 years.
Yay!
Oh my God.
We'll get to that.
I know the match that made me happy though.
Which one's that?
It is the next one coming up.
Did that make you happy? I think it would have made you happier if the Usos didn't win it.
Oh, it made me happy until the ending, but still made me happy.
Yeah, that match was a hell of a thing. See, I like that match. It was funny. I think Tyler Breeze especially is one of the funniest people that WWE has ever had in one of its rosters.
You mean Granny Breeze?
Yes.
Because that's really what is Granny Breeze or Mopper Breeze. You can choose the nicknames because we had the chance to name a few because he was like
he's essentially the three faces of Foley now, isn't he?
Oh my God!
Granny Breeze, I really appreciated that.
Yeah, no, that was really good. I do like the fact that they got to show their comedic chops. I would like to have seen them get to show their wrestling chops a bit more, because I think in that department both Fandango and Tyler Breeze are actually really underrated. I think they're a lot better than WWE, all the fans give them credit for. But yeah, no, I was actually kind of really surprised they didn't give them the tag team championships this time around, because essentially Tyler Breeze and Fandango of Breezango, or as I like to call them, Freeze.
Oh,
I like that.
Yeah. They are they've revitalized the tag team division that was essentially people were dying of boredom of it.
I know I was pretty much falling asleep whenever a tag match came on, but then out come the fashion files, and then suddenly I'm paying attention.
I was quite surprised they were number one contender. not seeing them coming. But when you watch SmackDown or when you read live events reports, where are American Alpha, the Colons? Nowhere. So it seems like there's not as much contenders for tag team titles as SmackDown can offer. I don't really know what is happening. We don't really know if Gable or Jordan are injured or if it's a creative decision. But
Well, even when
I don't really understand why, and if they were winning the title, I would have made what, because it was really, it would have been crazy. But I don't really. They are obviously like there are also the fact that the New Day to come back to give a new breath to the tag team division. They are supposed to come back in the following weeks. So
yeah, and that's the like I think Breezango have to get the championships because they have to have a feud with the New Day. Could you imagine what the Fashion Police and like the Unicorns, like how magical that could be?
Oh, all the chants! I can just hear them now.
it would be surreal, but it could be interesting.
It would be a good substitute for drugs if you were looking to go into rehab.
Absolutely, I was thinking about that. I wasn't sure of saying it live. So
what I just don't understand about the Usos right now with their gimmick. Like, are they meant to be like gangsters or something, or like?
I think street thugs certainly.
Because I'm not totally sure. Because they were like, we're gonna put you in the Uso penitentiary. So what? So they're like jailers now, or they're like prison wardens?
Well, no, I mean, like, one of the features of, like, gangster culture is to take the oppressive element against you and, like, turn that into something, gangster culture is also prison culture. It's also about incarceration and things like that.
I'm just imagining them running a prison.
I think it looks a lot better for them. I think this whole gangster thing just, like, they fit more naturally into it. There's something about them that, like, they've taken to this new gimmick change, and I think they're really making the most out of it.
Yeah, it's good when they're given something to do. When they're not, it's like, oh, they're just not here this week, I guess.
I just keep thinking they're doing that whole, like, you do the whole what's creeping up behind you, it's not paranoia, it's the Usos thing. Like, that's such a big, long, and elaborate speech. You do that the once, and you break that out every now and again. You don't do it every week.
Because then you're going to expect them. You expect them sneaking up behind you.
Yeah, that's the point, yeah. Like, if the element of surprise is their thing, then, yeah, they've got no surprise.
You're just going to turn around and go like, oh, hey, Jimmy.
I would love to see the Usos doing the glow thing. Everybody knows Jey Uso is Naomi's husband. I would love to see them come in the glow thing.
Yeah.
Going in the dark just one time, just to laugh.
Okay, guys. What did everybody think of Sami Zayn versus Baron Corbin? Now, I've only really got one thing to say about this, and that's that I like the fact that Sami Zayn won. And yes. I like Sami Zayn winning stuff. And yeah, that was pretty much it. Although, to be fair, the predictable thing happened, and Baron Corbin came out on SmackDown last night to absolutely dismantle him.
Well, you can't let Sami get too far ahead, apparently. You can't let him get too big for his boots.
No, you can't actually start presenting him as an actual credible contender.
Nah, just beat him up a little bit. I enjoyed it. I do like how Baron Corbin's coming along since he came onto SmackDown, and he's dropped being a slow heavy hitter, and he's actually picked up some speed, and I definitely enjoy that about him. That he's more of a threat now because he's big and he's quick. So
yeah, actually, I will say I was really impressed with his in-ring performance down there. His athleticism has picked up a step since because I still think of him as like the green guy on NXT, but every single time I see him in matches now, I'm actually really surprised to see how far he's come along. But then it's always a surprise, so I think he's still got that green image to shake off.
Yeah, and Sami Zayn was fun to see as well. I always enjoy Sami Zayn doing his thing, especially like the little flourishes he does on the ropes, which I'm always approve of.
Well, when he's allowed to be, Sami Zayn is my absolute favorite wrestler in the company.
Yes.
Me too.
Definitely.
Me too. Would be a little biased, but I agree with you on the fact that Baron Corbin, when he was in NXT, he wasn't really shining. He spent 3-4 years in more than that. He arrived in NXT in 2002. You could see in what was the documentary Breaking Ground. He was really disappointed and reaching for more. And when he come to the main roster, suddenly we have well, he's shining really, and it's great. It's great. It's really great to see him going for titles and in the same time, yeah, I really love Sami Zayn. I really appreciate to see him win again, but to be the punching bag of the big guys, or of tall guys, of the fat guys, like it was for fat guys. I'm a bad girl. He was the punching bag for Samoa Joe. Now is the punching bag of Baron Corbin,
He was the
and
punching
he
bag
took
for Braun
really
Strowman.
hard. He took really hard yesterday on SmackDown. He won his match in 20 seconds. I checked. And I really take the timeline. It was 20 seconds. But what it took after from Corbin was, wow. I don't really understand what WWE is trying to do with them. Sami Zayn deserves surely way more. He teamed with Randy Orton last Monday and in a live event, and they really did a great job. All the European tour, he worked Kevin Owens every night, and they did a hell of a job. It was match of the night every night. I don't really understand what they want to do of these two again. Think there is a big lack of comprehension between WWE and the wrestling fans actually currently, because I really like the contenders for Money in the Bank. When you see the names, you're like, yeah, okay, sure, it was these ones. Why did it become so predictable in a way? But I expect, of course, Sami Zayn to be away from this underdog post sticker that he has. He said it in the pre-show. They want to get rid of this underdog thing. He deserves way more. He's about to do way more and way better.
He can take a punch.
Yeah.
Good old Sammy.
Yeah. Okay, so
He can sell them. He's selling the blow quite well, I think.
yeah, and sometimes that's the with the best sellers, they're often called on to sell the best, and sometimes that can lead to somebody ending up in a rut and getting a bit swept under the carpet as far as booking's concerned. But oh well. Anyway, so the next match, the welcoming committee, Natalia, Miller, and Tamina with James Ellsworth. Ugh.
The epitome of masculinity, I might add.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Right, yeah. Defeated Charlotte Flair, Naomi, and Becky Lynch. And once again, the only thing I've got to say about this is I love Natalia. I'm glad that she got the I'm glad that she got the submission. A bit confused as to, like, you know, how far has Becky Lynch fallen? I mean, like, you know, she was the first ever SmackDown Women's Champion, and now she's the one not even eating the pin, she's the one taking the submission for the rest of her team.
Well, it's like a circumstance thing in that respect, because like you've got Charlotte, who they really want to push towards the championship, maybe, or just like to be the top woman on SmackDown.
Yeah.
And you got Naomi, the champ. You don't want to make her look weak, so
yeah, and
it's just kind of there, like. But just it's wrong time, wrong place, really. But
yeah, but what's going to happen to Naomi once she loses that belt? I can't see her doing anything else. I mean, the only reason she won the belt in the first place was because it took place in her hometown, and it was, you know, like kind of her, and I'm using inverted quotes here, her turn.
Yeah, I'm just I really don't know what she's going to do afterwards, but that, like I said, they're building towards this whole Charlotte thing, and that's like it's kind of an inevitability at this point. But if they play their cards right and they like manage to get like a whole like sort of thing with the fourth horsewomen again, maybe with Charlotte and Becky Lynch in a thing, then maybe this could turn out well. But again, I'm not totally sure what they're going to do with Naomi at this point.
Well, what I want to, like, where I want this to go from here is I actually want Natalya to get the belt, and then we can have Natalya Charlotte, which, as far as I'm concerned, from that first ever NXT takeover, is still the best women's match that WWE has ever put on.
As long as they don't do that bloody Montreal Screwjob shit again.
Oh god, they love bringing that up. Why can't they let that die, for Christ's sakes? Steph, what did you think of the match?
Because Vince won't let it go. He won't let it go.
I was really, really impressed by Tamina Snuka because she was away for nearly a year, and to see her come back and being that strong, I was really happy to see her back and in great shape and about to do good things. There's something also in the way. I agree with you. Natalya is a really, really, really good female wrestler. Becky Lynch, I don't really understand also what they want to do right now with they have a bunch of good. They all in a way Carmella accepted. They can be women's SmackDown's women's champion. Mostly Charlotte, making Charlotte Flair coming to SmackDown was like saying, yeah, she's going to be the champion. And I was, in my mind, was like she's going to be the first both Raw and SmackDown champion. And it didn't happen. So it's Alexa Bliss who did it first.
Cool. Right, so the next one, match of the night to a point, I think. Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles for the WWE United States Championship.
Oh, Kevin Owens. Oh, AJ Styles.
The face of America is French.
French Canadian,
It's French Canadian, but for me it's French. Whatever.
You know when you just you ever play WWE 2K17 and then you just do randomizer,
yeah,
and then you get something like this appearing, and it just makes you so happy that it kind of lives up to the simulation. Because when I did a simulation, it was quite nice, and then this was better. So, yeah, you could say I'm happy.
Cool. What did everybody think of the ending?
I
was fine with it. I thought that it was an interesting way to do a count out. I've never seen something like that happen before, though. I've obviously seen, like they've got the cable holes in the tables. I thought it was plausible. I thought it was fine. I thought it's exactly the sort of thing that Kevin Owens would do to retain the championship. I saw no problem in it whatsoever. I know a lot of people hated it.
Well, I can understand hating it if you're live in attendance and you're expecting like a submission or a pin, but watching it at home and seeing Kevin Owens obviously taking advantage of that, because in character it'd be like, oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna take advantage of this moment and win. So, and then just to see him also, give him a beating while he was down, adds to his character and makes him seem, more of a bastard. It gives him more heat. So
yeah, and I've got to say, with this whole thing where everybody's expecting every single finish to be clean, to be a definitive pinfall or submission victory, these are this isn't real sport. This is sports entertainment. This is professional wrestling. And this is how stories develop. And I think people have got to get out of their heads of expecting every single match, especially every single title match, having a clean finish to it, because they want these stories to go on for a matter of months. And as soon as you do that, the story ends. And you can't have that. You can't have it both ways.
I mean, it's like we had a grandma fighting earlier. Do you really expect us to take stuff seriously at this point?
Yeah, precisely. Yeah. Oh god, yeah.
We're totally in sports. This is what happens in football. I swear, guys.
Steph,
But
what did you think of it?
I wasn't expecting AJ to win the title.
No.
In a way, I was more in the perspective of much matches and or not things lasting months, but a few weeks. Or I was really in my mind, AJ Styles wasn't going to win the title, and I was quite stunned to see how Kevin Owens was over in this match. AJ Styles struggled a lot. And on SmackDown yesterday in this tag team match, it was the same. Owens and Ziggler was a hell of a team against Nakamura and Styles. So the end is in a way is interesting because, yeah, Owens is a bad guy, and bad guys do bad things. So yeah, he blocked him, and he had the count out. Yes, it's a way to win. It was a good match. Probably the match of the night.
Cool. James, was there anything else you wanted to say about Owens versus Styles?
I just like that he's gone for a little bit more of an intelligent character, like of recent, instead of just like the cowardly heel that always hides behind someone else. He's actively gone out and hurt someone in order to get what he wants, even if it involves picking apart a certain part of the body so they can't do their particular moveset. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, and it's it books him a little bit stronger, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Right, guys. So moving on, penultimate match: Luke Harper versus Eric Rowan. I confess,
my God, I forgot this was a thing.
Really? Okay, because I'm wondering. We'll see what Steph's got to say about it. But for time, because I was like looking at the clock and I was running out of time at this moment, I skipped it. I skipped ahead.
I felt like I could have. I didn't really.
What even happened in this match? Like
I can't remember. It's like it doesn't. It's like a Mandela effect. People say the match exists, but I don't remember seeing it.
Yeah, like
I think in the review I did for SteelChair Mag, it's the like three lines because we saw that so we already saw that many times.
Yeah.
So what was it bringing? Nothing.
We've already said what there is to say about it.
It was nothing. It was.
So
it was really.
3 words.
It was the moment to go to the kitchen to take a drink or whatever you want. But
this
really,
is the new piss break.
Yeah, we saw that many times. Obviously, they don't know what to do with these two guys, so they put them together again and again. And it's Harper who win. I don't even remember.
I think Harper did.
Harper, whatever the winner was, it was. We saw that before, and it was unnecessary.
Well, the only thing I think they could do with them at this point is the thing they should have done with them in the first place, because the best that these guys have ever looked, genuinely, was when they stopped messing about being a stable. They stopped messing about with Bray Wyatt and were just a tag team, an independent tag team on their own, not part of the Wyatt family, just Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, and those were the best performances that those guys ever got.
Yeah, but Rowan's like, no, but you left the family. You don't ever leave.
Was that Rowan or was that Luke?
I don't know.
Because at times it's been the pair of them. One's
left,
then the other left, and then one punished one for doing it.
They were both injured, so I think it's Harper who came back first. So in fact, it's Rowan was left out of the family.
Yeah,
but these two as a team would work the house, and they should make something fantastic together.
You think we would have seen Rowan at the House of Horrors match, just like in the sitting in the living room, because it might be their house.
Yeah, it could be interesting. It could be a kind of sanity version of.
Yeah.
Could be interesting, and what to do of these two, unless making them a team again.
Okay, guys, I think we've said all we need to say about that one. So,
Yeah.
main event time. Jinder Mahal, with the Singh brothers, defeated Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. Or as I like to call it, the death of a title.
If I've said it once, I'll say it again. Don't hinder the Jinder.
My head is in my hands right now, James. I'm praying for your soul.
Are you gonna hate me now? Because I like it.
I think it's absolutely terrible. I think it's one of the worst things that's ever happened to WWE, and I mean that totally unironically, and I tell you why. Everyone who likes this, everybody who thinks that this is a great thing, has just completely lost faith in WWE's ability to have a strong creative direction. To tell stories with natural and organic beginning, middle, and ends. To book feuds in a way that makes sense. And to push superstars. Because essentially what they're saying is that, oh, WWE did something terrible. This is brilliant. This is all I expect from WWE anymore.
I can see your side of that, but here is my side of this situation. I look at Randy Orton as the champion, and all I see is just it's just Randy Orton. I personally find him boring. I do not like that he does the same thing over and over and over.
And has done for the last 10 years.
Yes, pretty much. So to see something like this happen, and I will admit, yes, it did come out of nowhere, but given the fact that he's been with the company for a while, and then he's finally, after he's been trying to put some work in, even have to go through all that stuff with, like, Rusev at one point, and to, finally, to try and at least get a little bit ahead of steam, and after a little bit of recognition for the work that he's done, to finally get this far, I like it. I do enjoy it.
But there's something I think people missed about this situation. It was not about creative. It was not about giving the title to Jinder Mahal because he deserved it. It's mostly it is the key point of the thing. WWE want to develop in India. It's a 1.3 billion people market, and to find a gap in the market where Impact Wrestling is already settled, it was about giving the title to Mahal. Even if it sounds crazy, but it's a business decision. There's nothing creative for me in this. It's just we want captivate the Indian audience, so we give the title to Mahal. I remember saying that Mahal becoming champion would be a joke. I was expecting the Singh brother to be involved in the match. I'm not going to say I don't really Mahal as a champion. Well, yeah, it's a money making thing. It's nothing more for me.
I'll say this about Mahal in general, is that in a storyline wise, SmackDown is meant to be this place of opportunity where anyone can race their way up as long as they work hard enough.
Yeah.
And storyline wise, that's what Jinder Mahal has done.
And yet in real life, that's kind of the complete opposite to what's happened with everybody else.
Yeah, but don't take this away from me, dude. This is just again, I find it that the fact that we've got someone different as the WWE champion now, I just find that interesting, and I'm curious to see where this could go. Just because, again, look, getting rid of Randy Orton as the champion and then having a rematch later on, you're not sure who's going to come out the winner of that one. So
no,
that'll at least be a little bit.
I don't even want to think about it for the moment.
No,
it's too.
The last thing on my mind right now is the last thing on my mind right now is a rematch between these two, because quite frankly I didn't really find it captivating the first time round. I've got a couple of thoughts on this match from what you guys have just said. One is that for WWE to want to have an Indian champion to be able to break into the Indian market with, but also because he's Asian, keep him as a foreign gimmick for American fans to boo, is WWE trying to eat their cake and have it, and I think that's really bad in my opinion. I think that's the decades old out of date booking that they've been trying to get away with for far too long now, and I think it's tone deaf, especially the current political climate out there. And I think it's got to stop, and I really hope that it stops soon. And secondly, I am kind of sick of when I'm criticizing WWE, tempering my criticism by talking about business. I am sick to death of people making excuses for WWE because of how much merchandise they sell, because of how many ratings they get, because of how much free publicity fans will give them on Twitter if they do something like this. I mean, like, the whole reason that he's been put in this match was to give Indian fans something to watch with their first pay-per-view. But the reason that he's champion, in my opinion, is because him getting the number one contendership caused such a outrage on social media. WWE thought, oh, I wonder how much free publicity we can get on social media now if we actually make him champion. And I have decided to no longer talk about business when I'm criticizing WWE. If I think they're going in a crap creative direction, I'm just going to call them out on it. I'm sick of the rest of it.
It's just whenever I see sort of decisions like this, I just get the Vince McMahon in my head, just like screaming, like, "We're gonna make him champion. It's gonna be him. I choose him because I said so."
Mahal, I choose you.
Oh no!
You're the chosen one.
I thought of an interesting proposition for the next person Jinder Mahal faces, and it's the winner of the Andre the Giant Memorial. Because guess who was screwed over in that battle royal?
Oh yeah,
Jinder Mahal.
Yeah, Jinder Mahal almost won that. Yeah, I keep forgetting that. Yeah.
So now we've got a setup. We've actually got a feud. Oh, fuck.
Jinder Mahal. Reminding me in these leather pants with McIntyre and Slater. And I'm like, what? Is the WWE champion now? Wow.
Well, anyway, guys, I think the lesson that we have to take from this, from Jinder Mahal winning the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, is that we should have booed the heels. Because if we had booed AJ Styles, if we had booed Seth Rollins, if we had booed Kevin Owens when we should have booed them, this never would have happened. Because that's what WWE have done now. They've decided to go with a guy who the fans think is a crap wrestler and who the casual fans think is a dirty cheater, and that's the only way WWE are going to get a unanimous booing reaction from everyone in the audience. So I think we've got to settle in. That's the future we've chosen for ourselves. And I think
the Roman Reigns syndrome, I would call it like that. Because when you think about what happened, for example, yesterday during the celebration, you think about Roman Reigns and WWE that is pushing and pushing and pushing, and people booing and booing and booing, and he's still the chosen one. He's still pushed, and people don't want him, but WWE keeps pushing, so we have to deal with it.
Yeah, okay, guys. Did anybody else have anything to say about Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton, about the terrible state of affairs we find ourselves in?
No, I just think we're on the road to Mahal and Rawley. That's what I'm hoping for.
And hopefully Rawley will bury Mahal.
Mahal versus
they'll bury
Rawley?
each other.
Whoa. Whoa.
No, in that fight, we are the ones who get buried. It's like Alien versus Predator. Whoever wins, we lose.
No, yeah, you're right.
Cool, guys. So, well, there you have it, folks. That was a SteelChair shoot. Thank you for listening to all of our ramblings, and please don't forget to like, to subscribe, to share, and to comment if you agree or if you disagree. Check out the mag at issue.com/SteelChair. That's issuu.com/SteelChair, where you can find all of our back issues. And you can catch us all on Twitter at SteelChairMag. Steph, where can people find you on Twitter?
My Twitter name is @FrenchNigma.
Cool. And James, where can we find you?
And you can find me at JamesRT101.
And I'm Fight Like a Cow. Thank you all, and I'll see you guys next time.